A few days after Karen's failed attempt to storm the ranch, I discovered something even more outrageous. HOA Karen had secretly rented out my mountain cabin for years, $150 a night, without my knowledge or consent. Apparently, she thought she could profit off my property while I was busy running the ranch. I found out when a delivery driver arrived with luggage and a check-in request for the rental property. Looking confused as to why the gate was locked, I immediately accessed my security footage. There it was, countless instances of Karen and a few HOA members sneaking guests onto the property, all without any legal right. I could see the guests enjoying the cabin, oblivious to the fact that they were trespassing. Karen had not only violated my property rights, but had also been pocketing money from something that wasn't hers. By mid-morning, I called her. "Hello, Karen. Did you think renting my property without my consent was a good idea?" I asked, calm but firm. Her response was a flustered mix of denial and anger. It's just a community service. I didn't think." I interrupted. "Let me clarify. Every rental you allowed, every dollar collected, and every unauthorized guest was illegal. You have trespassed, committed fraud, and misused my property. And yes, I have all the evidence documented." By noon, I decided to make a plan. I drafted a series of notices to all previous guests, explaining the situation and formally terminating any supposed rental agreement. I also posted legal warnings at the cabin, stating that any unauthorized entry would now be prosecuted. By the time Karen tried to intervene, it was too late. Every move had been anticipated and countered. Later that afternoon, Karen showed up with the HOA president and a few board members, hoping to intimidate me into giving up the cabin. I greeted them warmly and began walking them through the property. Cameras captured every step, every nervous glance, and every whispered argument between Karen and her board. I showed them the deeds, zoning approvals, and legal documentation proving that all rentals without my consent were void. Karen tried her usual tactic of waving papers and shouting, "This is a community matter. You can't just—" I stopped her mid-sentence. "Actually, I can. Every rental without authorization is null, and you are personally liable for any profits gained and trespassing incurred." By evening, the cabin was fully secured. Guests had been removed, the gate locked, and cameras monitored every entry point. Karen and her entourage were left frustrated, muttering threats that had no legal weight. Neighbors, once curious, now understood that any attempt to exploit my property would end in disaster for the instigator. As the sun dipped behind the mountains, I surveyed the property. The cabin, once a target of opportunistic HOA manipulation, was now fully under my control. Every unauthorized attempt to profit from it had been thwarted, every potential loophole closed. Karen had learned the hard way. Property ownership and preparation always outweighed entitlement, deception, and greed. I returned to my porch, sipping a cold drink and watching the fields bathed in golden light. My mountain cabin was secure, my property rights unchallenged, and HOA Karen's schemes once again reduced to humiliation and failure. The lesson was clear. Trespassers, scammers, and entitled HOA members had no place on my land, and every action I took was carefully documented to ensure that reality always caught up with their imagination.